Bitcoin is about to go parabolic. We've got Eric Trump himself saying it. His family-backed Bitcoin company just went public with thousands of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And the dollar collapsing against both gold and Bitcoin. And with the Fed now basically guaranteeing a rate cut in 13 days. Ladies and gentlemen, we are staring down the barrel of the greatest Bitcoin bull run in history. Stay tuned because we're about to cover the Trump family Bitcoin bombshell, the Fed's 97% chance of cutting rates, why the dollar is doomed. Oh yeah, and Trump's latest comments about ending the Fed and replacing the income tax with tariffs. Strap in, we got a wild one on our hands. Send it!
Every single day. A year ago, Jamie Dimon was saying, we're not going to touch cryptocurrency. And now they're probably running at digital assets faster than anyone. You see what BlackRock's doing. You see, as I mentioned, what Schwab's doing. You see what nation states are doing. You see what states in this country are doing. Look what Texas just voted on, right? In their legislature, literally being able to custody Bitcoin on their balance sheets, right? So all of a sudden you've got all these cracks in the dam that are breaking. The people who get in now are the people who are getting in early. I believe that with all of my soul. And this is a global asset. This is an asset that everybody wants. This is an asset. It's probably the only asset in the world that has limited supply. There's 21 million. There will never be another one, unlike gold, unlike other commodities. And I'm just watching it from afar as for the first time, the capital markets really have access to it or getting access to it. And so I think cryptocurrency is in its infancy, and I think the trajectory of Bitcoin and of digital assets is going to be parabolic. And I really think we're going to have one of the greatest companies in the ecosystem, and that was launched obviously minutes ago.
Eric Trump came out and said it plain as day. Bitcoin is about to go parabolic. If you're bearish after hearing that, go touch grass. And yeah, like we said, the Trump family-backed American Bitcoin company went public on the NASDAQ with 2,443 Bitcoin already in its treasury. That immediately puts them in the Bitcoin top 100, ranking number 25. Probably nothing. Now here's why Eric Trump isn't just talking his book. The setup is insane. We're 13 days away from a Fed rate cut. Odds 97.6%, basically locked in. Gold just hit an all-time high. The dollar has lost 50% of its value versus gold in the last 3 years. Congratulations! You now officially live in a third world country with a broken currency. And you know what happens when fiat collapses? Bitcoin soaks it all up. All that value. Now, before we get to Trump's plan to end the Fed and abolish the income tax, look at our likes.
3 or 4 times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
We need to talk about how you can prepare for what's coming. Give us a pamp while we recognize our sponsors powering this show. The Bitcoin Way. If you're new to self-custody, their team will walk you through it step by step through wallets, multi-sig, privacy, inheritance planning. Don't be reckless, be sovereign. Schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link below in the show notes and learn how to run a node and secure your generational wealth today. Once you get self-custody dialed in, if you ever need to tap into your Bitcoin's value without selling it, boom, you're holding pristine collateral. Ledn has funded over $10 billion in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018. No monthly payments, no penalties, just flexibility. You control your loan, you control your Bitcoin. Collateral is never lent out to generate interest, and every 6 months, proof of reserves. It's simple. If you need cash but don't want to sell your precious corn, check out Ledn. Go to learn.ledn.io/simply, and Simply Bitcoin clients will get 25 basis points off their first loan. Now to Trump. At a recent event, Trump made a shocking statement. If you go back to 1913, it was all tariffs, no income tax. We were the richest ever. And let's not forget what else happened in 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve.
We talked about how historic these tariffs have been, bringing in revenue, additional revenue for our country. You've also mentioned before they could possibly replace federal income tax.
Possible.
Do you think that
Someday it's possible. It used to be. So if you go back to 1913 is when they ended tariffs. We were the richest ever from 1850. It was all tariffs. We didn't have income taxes. From 1850 to 1913. In the 1887s, about 1887, they had the Great National Tariff Act. And it was a group of people that got together because our country was so rich they didn't know what to do with the money. We had so much money, they didn't know what to do. It was a group of very prominent people that were set up to hand out money to everybody because we were the richest we ever were. Proportionately, we were in 1887, around that time, even in 1913. We ended them in 1913. How did that work out? And then we went to the income tax system, and then we had the Depression. And by the way, a lot of people try and say that, oh, tariffs with the Depression. No, they ended in 1913, and then we went to income tax, and then in 1929 you had the Depression. They did try and bring it back in 1931-32, but the Depression had long started, and this poor, beautiful nation was gone. It was gone. We suffered for 25 years. It took 25, 30 years to really recover from the Depression. And we don't ever want to see that happen again. The tariffs are vital to the success of this country. When I say I ended 7 wars, at least half of those wars were ended because of the power of tariffs. I was able to...
This is massive. Apparently, something in Project 2025 outlines abolishing the Fed before the midterms. Well, hell yes, let's do that. Pair that with tariffs replacing the income tax. And Bitcoin as neutral reserve collateral, and you're looking at the biggest financial revolution since 1776. Let's talk numbers. If Bitcoin continues to follow M2 money supply and gold correlations, the charts are pointing to 167K to 185K by year's end. That's like pretty bearish, really. And don't forget, Bitcoin has now traded over 100K for 100 straight days. That's the new floor. We've also officially crossed a historic milestone. Publicly traded companies now hold over 1 million Bitcoin. Yeah, the supply shock is now. Banks and boardrooms are scrambling. Billionaire Tim Draper just said it. Boardrooms across America are in full-blown Bitcoin panic mode. Companies that laughed 2 years ago are now rushing to figure out custody. It's becoming irresponsible not to own Bitcoin. Families that don't hold at least 6 months of expenses in Bitcoin are going to be in the back of the line when fiat banks collapse. That's not me. That's not Nico. That's not Opti. That's not Simply Bitcoin. That's Tim Draper. The fundamentals are locked. The next move is Parabolic. Here's how it all ties together. The so-called September dump already happened. What comes next? September. Bitcoin is max pain, and max pain is the opposite of what everyone expects. The Trump family is stacking. Billionaires are scrambling. The Fed is cornered, and the dollar is imploding. This is the beginning of the biggest Bitcoin bull run of all time. You either get on the rocket ship now, or you're going to be left in the ashes of fiat. Bitcoin forever, fiat never. Send it. And quick reminder, if you want to see the future of Bitcoin mining up close, don't miss Mining Disrupt 2025 in Dallas, November 11th through the 13th. The biggest names in the industry, cutting-edge rigs, and the alpha you won't get anywhere else. Grab your tickets today and use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off, and we'll see you at the news desk. Hey, let us know what you think below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pat, and set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Sophie, Dante, Oceans, they all have bangers coming your way, so stay tuned, and I'll catch you next time. Love you guys. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.